Hello, everyone, and welcome to Drambling. My name is KTH77, but you can call me Keith. I mean, it's what my parents call me. And today, our guest is
Shane Geller.
Shane
Uh,
Geller. Not a
you could call
username.
me Shane.
Yeah, a human
Yeah,
name.
I am a human. I have been for a while now.
Well, I mean, all of them have been human, but this is one who just uses a name instead of a crazy internetical pseudonym.
Yeah, I'm not popular enough on the internet to have a cool pseudonym.
Yeah, like the
You
second
know,
you make it big, you have to become Shaney Pie, so no one can track you.
Shaney Pie seems like something only a girlfriend should call me.
Yeah, you should bring it up.
Okay,
Next time
yeah,
on the
exactly.
date, like, hey, babe, I mean, we've been dating for a while, and I know you should probably come up with, like, the pet name, but, hey,
I'm
mind if you
really
call me
pushing for
Shaney
this
Pie?
Shaney Pie one. Yeah, I'm really feeling this one.
Yeah, come on. I just at least want to hear you say it once,
Yeah,
because I'm not going to
exactly.
be saying it to myself.
Yeah, well, see, like, I have the luxury of having a name where you can add a Y to the end and it doesn't sound horrible.
Hmm.
Like not nothing against your name, but Keithy Pie is different.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, that's why my mother just called me Keithers.
Keither. See, you have the RS.
Yeah, the ers.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, nicknames are always something that I've wanted.
Me too. Never really got them except for, like, one person. Yeah, don't worry, I haven't forgotten that you gave me the nickname Ruber. I haven't forgotten. It's just I haven't.
Ruber, that's not a bad one.
Yeah, it's my friend. He was actually my last guest. Really likes languages, Latin one of
Mhm.
them. So he named me after the Latin word for my favorite color,
Which is
red.
red. But your name on Skype and such has the word blue in it.
That's just because in another ring of friends, I accidentally got like the username blue, and like, I guess that's what it is now.
You're like, I need a username bad. Think, think, think. And you looked around and everything was blue.
Yeah, I'm actually Eiffel Blues Tower,
Yeah.
that blue guy. Anyhow, as is what I've been trying to start every cast with is Shane, you been watching any cartoons lately?
Actually, I'm very late to the game on Adventure Time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm extremely late. The only reason I started watching it is because Chantel, my girlfriend, who will probably come up a lot in this podcast since we're talking and I'm with her quite a bit. Um, she got me into it. She's big into Adventure Time. She's watched it all. And I love it.
I remember I watched it a lot in the beginning,
Hmm.
then sort of like the first half of the middle, I guess. I was like starting to fall off a little bit cuz I'm like this is getting a little bit convoluted. Then
Yeah.
sort of the middle endish, I like completely fell off cuz like I'm watching an animated soap opera now.
Yeah, it's definitely getting more serious. I think I'm about at the midway point.
Yeah. Like, I'm not against it getting serious. It's just it focuses a little too much on like Finn's relationships and stuff.
Got it. Yeah, I could see that starting, but they're really trying to focus, I think, on like the puberty aspect of it, like the coming of age story, and that's such like a huge thing.
Though, I think the one thing that was the biggest bummer to me about that show is how it often would set up something really neat,
Uh-huh.
and then it'd be like, yeah, we're not actually going to give you legitimate payoff.
Damn. I see. I don't know if I've experienced the sadness of not of getting blue balls by a show.
Like, have you seen Billy yet?
What is Billy?
He's like this hero that defeated the Lich before Finn.
No, no, I don't think I have.
Okay, so you haven't seen any of the disappointments that I've been
Okay,
through
good.
yet.
Well, then
And
I'm looking forward to them.
I could be like, "Oh, it's when this happens." Like, that's kind of a major spoiler. Even if
Yeah, no,
nothing,
I appreciate
yeah.
that.
What should Jake's hand turn into?
Jake the dog?
Yes.
Um, I think it should be a hand with hands for fingers.
Well, that is good.
I feel like that's effective. But another show that I've been watching and that I have been loving and have no complaints about because it just makes me happy is We Bare Bears.
Oh, yeah, that show. I've only seen like 2 episodes. One is where was it Grizzly
Yeah.
got like really attached to like a burrito,
Yes.
and then there's one episode that like showed Ice Bear's like typical day, and he like
Yep.
enslaved a Roomba to his will.
Uh-huh. Yep. It's just like it's so silly and there's no like I don't have to think when I'm watching it, which is kind of like it's so relaxing to watch that show.
True.
Yeah. But like also the characters you can I like a good character where I can be like, "Oh, that's definitely this person I know," you know?
Do you feel like any of those bears is our boy Ed too?
Oh, I think a panda could totally be Ed too.
Oh man, is that too big onto the social media situation?
Ed 2 made his Instagram account because we wanted him to, and it's called Ed 2 Does Things. And for a while, it was just videos of him doing things, and it was like, here is Ed 2 eating noodles or something like that. And it'd be a video of him eating noodles or a picture of him eating noodles.
I'm kind of jazzed about that.
Yeah, so if you go, I don't know. Here, let me check it while we're on here to see if that's still the format he's using.
Oh wait, this is
Uh,
it. This is dead air. I'm putting some hands onto these fingers. You'll notice. It's his. It's his right hand, and they're all right hands. I wanted to make sure I
uh,
had that continuity going.
well, that's good. You
And
don't want a right hand with left hands. That would fuck everything up.
I'm going to be doing some editing now.
Oh, sorry.
It's alright. I didn't tell you.
It's a sad time where you've gotten to a point where you don't realize you're cursing anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that happened to me when I was on your podcast. When I was.
It's the thing is when you get excited.
Yes.
I get excited and then I'm like, oh, there goes my filter.
There it goes.
But now I know. It was early enough in to where, it's not like you have to skim through a million things.
Yeah.
You know?
Because in the last episode, when like friend
Hmm.
was said, "Hey, this is going to be a little bit of spoiler for Sailor Moon Crystal," you
Hmm.
should. You'll probably put in a thing. I'm like, I guess I'm going to be skimming through this whole episode to put in a little text prompt that says, "Hey, skip ahead about a minute. This is a kind of but not really spoiler for Sailor Moon Crystal."
Yeah. I should have asked if this was what the restrictions are
Yeah.
because I went straight for the big one.
Yeah.
I didn't work my way up. I went straight for the big curse word.
Yeah. Look, we can do pre Rick and Morty Adult Swim. You can drop all the dams and the craps that you want.
Okay, cool.
But just know we don't violate the whole country situation.
I'm going to try and make it as easy as possible on you
Yeah,
in post.
in post. Not
Yeah.
my best Jake, but then again, it's like Jake. Adventure type characters, they're such simple characters.
Mm-hmm.
You draw them, and then it's I don't know. Jake's at best of times a bean, oftentimes just an egg, with dog features on it.
At best of times a bean. That's another good Tinder bio.
That should.
It's
I mean,
like,
yeah.
what was the first one? Jessica Rabbit, but
With
proportioned even worse.
Worse proportions.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then at best of times a bean.
At best of times a bean.
Um, so I'm gonna try and transition here, just because I see an opportunity. There's an Adventure Time comic book.
Oh, there is. Oh yeah, yeah, I've heard
There
about it.
is, and
I've
it's
heard a
it's pretty.
couple of. Oh, sorry.
No, no, go for it.
I heard like a couple of issues were like written by the guy who makes the Doctor McNinja comic.
Dr. McNinja?
It's a web comic. It ended a little while ago, or it might be in its final chapter. I mean, it was in its
That
final
sounds
chapter like a year
fantastic.
ago. Yeah, it's about a ninja who's a doctor from a family of Irish ninjas that fought off pirates on Thanksgiving.
That that sounds that sounds like it's right up my alley.
It was a pretty fantastic comic, and I only use past tense not because it went downhill, but because it just
Ended.
retired.
That's always nice when something retires in its prime
Yeah.
and you don't have to see it be sad.
And if that's not enough to make you want to read it, here's some other things that it has. It has a mobster who is a lobster called the I can't remember what he's called. He's like just a mobster lobster.
Mobster Lobster it's a good band name.
Yeah. There was there's a rival gang leader. Well, not a rival gang leader, but he runs all of the organized crime in this small town the doctor lives in, and he's named King Radical. And he looks
King
just like
Radical.
he just looks like a king from like the 19 not whatever kings were a thing, medieval king, but he rides dirt bikes and wears sunglasses.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's a very
I
cool
now
comic.
I now think I want to be him.
I want to
It
be King Radical for Christmas.
it reminds me of a comic book that I read a while back called Cowboy Ninja Viking.
That definitely sounds like the same style.
Yeah, it's about a guy who actually he has multiple personalities disorder, and his multiple personalities are a cowboy, a ninja, and a Viking, which I think is best case scenario.
Best case scenario, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you have this sad, horrible disease, but you're now a cowboy, a ninja, and a Viking."
Yeah. Though, from what I hear, multiple personalities might not be a thing, but it's always been in question if it's a thing.
I think everything in psychology is kind of, oh, that might not be real.
Yeah. I mean, just I don't know. Is this just going to be becoming a I'm going to name drop all the people we both know when I hear a relevant thing? I'm not sure if that's
This is
appropriate.
this is the This is the Shane and Keith talk about their friends
Yeah.
podcast.
Just ask Isaac and he'll tell you all about his fun times with
Hold on, 1 second. You skipped out just a little bit.
oh, okay.
So repeat what you said.
Just talk to Isaac about psychology stuff because he can talk all about them and how things
Oh
aren't
yeah,
real.
yeah. Isaac's definitely an existentialist psychologist.
Eh. Anyways, that's enough drawing Dr. Eggman Jake. So anyways,
You drew him as Dr. Eggman?
yes, because I then drew him with an egg body because I was thinking about an egg body Jake.
I love it. I love it. That's a hell of a crossover.
That would be. I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog Archie comics crossed over with the Mega Man comics at one point.
Archie will just cross over with everybody.
With everybody.
Archie crossed over with Predator
And Punisher.
and Punisher, and they do the great thing is that the people who make Archie are so cool that they're like, yeah, do whatever you want to the characters. Like when Predator crossed over with Archie, he was still Predator. He was not this like archified character. He was like ripping people apart.
Jeez.
Yeah, there's some great images online, I'm sure.
I definitely need to Google that now.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Dude, Predator just blew up the soda shop guy's head with his, I'm assuming his plasma caster.
Yep. There's like, it almost looks like he fatalities people, you know?
Oh, that's beautiful. Also, he's about to stab the one I think is Archie in the eye with his space claws, and then blonde-haired girl gets her arm chopped off. This is beautiful. This is a
that's about the knowledge of Archie I also have. But, um, but I like that we have seamlessly and organically uh, gotten to the topic that we were originally planning on doing.
yeah, the comic edition, which is why it actually said comics up there. You thought I was just messing with you. You were wrong.
They're like, "Damn, I was hoping this was comic books," and then you're drawing Jake the dog, and they were like, "No," and then we did it.
So, any particular comic subjects you would like to talk about first? Like
Um,
maybe,
or go ahead.
like how you started, or what your favorites are, or
Oh, that's a tough one. The how I started is not a tough one. Um, but the favorites, I got so many favorites. Um, but the how I started it is kind of a on and off kind of relationship I had with comics. My first ever comic was a Fantastic Four like one-off issue in I was in like second or first grade, and it was like free comic book day or like ribbon week where they were like telling us about don't do drugs. Here's a comic book about not doing drugs, and it was Fantastic Four.
fantastic. Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Exactly, fantastic. Um, but then I didn't really get into comic books until like 2011. I'd say was when I really got into comic books. And the comic book that got me back into comic books was Hush, which is a Batman comic. Um, and it's a fantastic one.
And what's that one about?
It's about a villain named Hush. Um, and I don't want to spoil it for people because it's so good. I hope I can encourage people to give it a read. Um, but it's like if you've seen Hush or if you haven't seen Hush, he's basically a man in a trench coat whose face is all bandaged up, and then he takes off the bandages and like tries to steal um, Bruce Wayne's identity, kind of thing. And it's a good book.
So does like Hush under the band-aids look like Bruce, or did he like just get plastic surgery to look like Bruce, and that's why he's all bandaged up?
Yeah, it's the plastic surgery one actually,
All right.
which is kind of a silly concept, but the writing is better than it sounds. Um, and then my favorite comic book of all time is it's not actually a superhero comic. It's an ongoing series right now. It's Saga by Brian K. Vaughan. I don't know if you're familiar.
No, not too familiar with comic book artists aside from like the really famous like Rob Liefeld and. Great, now I'm on the spot, and the only one I thought of was Rob Liefeld. I know who they are. They're just their names aren't coming to
Yeah,
me.
yeah, like Frank Miller.
Frank Miller, yeah.
Uh, who did Warren Ellis or
Frank Miller also did a lot of the more famous Batman stories, both the famously good and famously not good.
yes, he did the Dark Knight series. With the funky looking Batman that everybody's a fan of, and I'm not.
I don't know. It took some getting used to chunky Batman. It's sort of like, yeah, he's a chunky Batman. He's been sitting on his couch eating Rocky Road ice cream instead of fighting crime for a while.
But he's still got muscles that could crush an elephant.
Definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, see, I'm a big guy. Like I can name an actor or a director or something, but yeah, I also have a hard time naming artists, and I could tell you like an art style where it's like, oh, I like the style of this book specifically,
Right.
but I'm bad with names in general, so you
I'm
know.
better at naming people like Bruce Timm, who is the lead character designer for the Batman animated series in the 90s.
Say that one more time.
I know more about like Bruce Timm, who was like the lead designer for the Batman animated series in the 90s.
Yeah. You have the talent of being able to pretty much name people I would have never heard of or even had the thought to look them up like from cartoons, you know.
I just I want to be in that industry, so I like soak up as much info as I can.
I could tell by the fact where I'll say a cartoon and you'll be like, "Yeah, I really like this guy." I'm like, "I have no idea who that is." But I learn a lot, which is good.
That's good. Learning
But or
always
go
good.
ahead.
So, no, I was just gonna say learning's always good.
Learning is always good. That's a good lesson. I'm glad I didn't cut you off. But back to Saga. Saga is basically Space Romeo and Juliet.
Hopefully, it's a happier ending.
They haven't ended it yet. It's still ongoing, so I would hope there's a happy ending too, because the characters are extremely lovable.
That's good.
But there's a lot of very graphic sex in it.
Is it like happy sex or is it like Game of Thrones unhappy
No,
sex?
no, it's happy sex.
Oh,
It's all yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah, because I watched Game of Thrones and I'm like, I'm torn because as a man who enjoys women, this is kind of like I enjoy seeing the female body every once in a while, but this is sad and it makes me uncomfortable the fact that you are frowning during this.
No one's having a good time.
Exactly. Even the men don't seem like they're having a good time.
They're just like, ah, let's get this going.
Yeah, it's like this is such a sad life.
Let's do this, and then hope we don't get eaten by Canadian zombies.
Canadians.
I don't actually watch the show, so all I know about the show are like the secondhand memes people spread about it.
It'd be interesting for you to watch the show with only the knowledge of memes.
It would be. Is that the guy who knows nothing?
Yeah,
That's the only character I
exactly.
know. There's also
Yeah,
some
but
sort of bone man.
some sort of bone man is once again another good Tinder bio.
Welcome to the Tindercast.
So, are you a big fan of comic books, Keith?
Um, I never really got into comic books. I've never like had a comic book store to go to. I
Hmm.
recently tried buying like a whole bunch of like the Blue Beetle comics and reading it, but I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I don't know why I'm struggling to get into this. I think the thing is like the pacing feels like too fast for me
Yeah,
because I think comic books are like short. They don't have many pages to work with.
yeah.
So it's just sort of like I turn the like open the book and they're like, "Hey, we're like on a road trip to find out this mystery from the last book." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." Then like, "I'm a weird religious bad guy, rar." And like, "Oh, there's a bad guy." And then Blue Beetle's like, then I don't even remember how he defeated him. They just like fought for a while and then it was already over and they're like, "All right, we're going to continue on." Like, "Wow." I mean,
You're like, wait, it ended?
yeah. That was a little crazy.
Yeah. I think the thing that really helped me is they have you heard of Comixology?
No, what is that?
Oh, it's an online comic book like distributor and it's digital only stuff, so you download the app on your phone or on your computer or something, and it really helps because I'm horrible at reading. I'm a very slow reader and I get distracted easily.
Oh, ditto.
So this will help you too, and it's called guided viewing mode, and it moves from speech bubble to speech bubble for you. Like you just hit next, and it'll go in the sequence of how like you should read it.
Definitely should check it out.
Yeah, and the comic books they always have free ones, so it's like the first issue a lot of times is like $1.50,
That's
and then you read it,
fantastic.
and then you can subscribe even if you like love it or something. Uh, I could give you more information about it another time.
When we're not trying to entertain people.
Exactly, exactly. I don't know how many people would be. I mean, I'm sure it's like nice to if they didn't know about it, to be like, oh, that's cool. Now I could go. I have a new place to get comic books.
And hey, what'd you call it? Assisted comic? What was it?
Guided viewing.
Hey, guided viewing. Wanna like give me one of those YouTube give me money things because we say nice things and you'll give me a promo code. Use promo code Dravling to get 3 months free of guided reading comic books.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, the company is Comixology. Guided viewing is the the software they use, maybe.
Ah,
But yeah, if Comixology wants to give Keith some money, I would gladly also like some money,
okay.
Comixology. Um, but so that it's not just me talking, we could talk about just superheroes in general.
Yeah.
So that because like I also to get into superheroes, the cartoons were a huge thing.
Definitely of course my love of Batman started from the Batman animated television series.
Absolutely. See, I think I was past because do you know when that came out? It was 92, right?
It was some sort of 1990 situation.
I think it started in 92. I cannot tell you when it ended. Um, but yeah, that was before my time. So I've only had the experience of seeing bits and pieces of it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, 1992 to 1995.
but
It's
as
just
a Batman fan, I feel like I should watch it because like Batman is like my boy.
oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see someone who's like a fan of Batman, but like didn't grow up with that show. How'd they react to it? It'd be a nice scientific
Yeah,
experiment.
maybe I'll watch it. The thing is, I feel like and our good friend Trent, who's also a big he's also a big cartoon guy like yourself. He has a gripe with Warner Brothers because they only release their cartoons in volumes and never as a whole set,
Not amazing.
which is kind of frustrating because like I would definitely like to and I'd invest in it knowing how good other people say it is.
Yeah. Come on. Get it together, Warner Brothers.
Yeah, Warner Brothers, we're gonna come beat you up.
We're gonna give you a wedgie and put you on a flagpole. Did anyone
Okay,
actually do that? That sounds
that's what I was
dangerous.
gonna say. That sounds so scary. It's like even just to walk out and see somebody hanging from a flagpole by their undies. It's such a scary image.
God, that must be the most intense tensile strength undies ever made.
Oh yeah. I don't think I could have. Well, first of all, I'm a bigger dude, so like I'd need a good strength rope, a good strength bully, and a good strength undies.
You gotta get that quality Fruit of the Loom undies.
Exactly. Fruit of the Loom extra strength.
Fruit of the Loom in military industrial polymer strength.
Yeah, exactly. So I have a question for you.
I might have an answer.
Would you consider, since we're talking about superheroes, um, would you consider like Danny Phantom a superhero?
Uh, yeah, I would say so. I mean, he has like both like the sort of superficial trappings of secret identity, gallery of
Mm-hmm.
villains, and
Mm-hmm.
like a set of powers. But I don't know. You gotta ask what really defines a superhero. I sort of feel it's a person with extraordinary abilities or resources who combats extraordinary circumstances, extraordinary dangers,
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty solid definition.
and he definitely fits that.
When you say he has a secret identity, it made me think, how do people not realize that
I
that's
think they
him?
even said that in the show at one point. There's like a
Because it's he goes by Danny Phantom and his name is Danny Fenton
yeah,
and his hair just turns white and his eyes turn green.
and he wears a jumpsuit. It's like, is that Danny Fenton? Oh wait, no, he's wearing a jumpsuit. He'd never wear a jumpsuit. I mean, he
Yeah,
has parents that wear jumpsuits, but I mean, he
but he would
wouldn't
never
wear.
be caught dead in a jumpsuit.
Yeah.
That's how he did it. That's how he combated his secret identity being discovered. Is he was just a fashionista.
I mean, I think that's why also Superman never got outed, because people are like, yeah, Superman, he's like very fashion forward. He'd never wear glasses. He's like not one of those hipsters who would wear glasses even though he doesn't need them.
Yeah, he's not a huge dork.
He's not a nerd. Punches people.
So who out of cartoons? This is more. I guess we're moving towards more of a superhero edition than a comic book edition, but whatever. If you, as long as you're cool with that.
I'm cool with that. I want to roll with the punches.
Yeah,
Superhero punches.
just because I don't want to talk your ear off with my comic book opinions, but I think the superhero realm kind of expands into your territory of cartoons quite a bit. So, who is your favorite like made up superhero that came from a cartoon, even if they're like a silly superhero in a world like like the Crimson Chin, for example.
Here comes the Crimson Shin. Let's see. Like, are you saying like like it was made up in universe, or just any kind of super person who fights super things?
Either or.
Well, I'm gonna probably say my favorite super fighting person of all time would probably be, actually it's a team. It's from my
Mhm.
favorite show of all time. And look, I'm gonna say right now, it's
Mhm.
my favorite show. I'm not gonna say it's the best show. It's the show that ticks all the boxes for something I really would enjoy.
Uh huh.
So don't take this as the Keith gospel of best show. I have other
I'm
opinions.
taking it as that.
Dang. Gosh dang o darn. You sussed me. But it's the team Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go.
Okay, so I'm familiar with the show, but not enough to be able to explain it. So, would you care explaining it to me?
Alright, so you know how the Power Rangers are a team of people who have like colorful suits and they fight bad guys and monsters?
Uh huh.
Instead of teenagers with attitude, monkeys that are cyborgs. And you know how Power Rangers have a robot that like is made out of a bunch of things that aren't robots?
Yes.
They instead have a giant robot that just turns into vehicles. It's like they look like a big generic blocky robot.
Yeah,
Then
I pulled up the IMDb page. Is it made by the same people who did Adventure or not Adventure Invader Zim?
no, that's Yonan Vasquez. I don't know. I listen to the commentaries, they pronounce it Jonan, but every time I talk to people on there, they're like, no, it's Yonan. And I'm like, whatever. It's made by
Just
the
because the
same.
art style's similar.
Yeah. It's actually made by the same person who is working on the current CG Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon.
I love the Ninja Turtles.
I do too. Actually,
That's like,
yeah.
or go ahead.
Do you remember that story arc where they went into space to with the Professor Honeycutt?
Back in the day, right?
Well, like,
Or is it with the new?
it's with
With it?
this current series.
Oh no, I have not caught up on this new series.
Oh, okay. But anyways, it's funny because one episode was pretty much just like 100% recreation of the Monkey Team show episode. I
That's
can't throw
so
this
cool.
Batman fist.
Can't draw the Batman fist?
Nah.
Then just make a hand with a bunch of more hands on it.
I don't know. This is the Batman Pirate AU. He's now Hook Batman.
He's got a hook. I
He
love it.
does.
This also the art style now, because now I'm looking through the IMDb pictures. I could definitely see that you've taken a lot of inspiration in your own like art style from this.
Yeah, it's really fun. Like for one thing, like you know how in Ren and Stimpy, how they'd often have like the really gross looking shots.
Yes.
I'm not a big fan of that, but they do that in this show. But because it's like a show where they're fighting essentially cosmic horrors, they don't
Mm-hmm.
use it to be like funny. They use it to be like, no, this is just a really effed up villain. This is how gross and disturbing it is, and I dig it.
I I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause even in like SpongeBob when they do like the hyper close-ups and you see like all Squidward's pores and his nasty zits and stuff, I'm like, oh, it's so gross.
So gross.
But I maybe I'll check this out. Were they actually monkeys?
Yes. Like, and it's like they can talk. Well, they can't actually talk to people until like the third or second season when they like finish their translator device.
Mm-hmm.
But they were intelligent, but that's only because they're cyborgs. Like, there is an episode where like they get like go into like a place where all machines shut down,
Uh-huh.
and they just act like normal monkeys because like all the computers in their brains turned off and they just became dumb monkeys.
This was on Jetix. That's
Oh yeah.
old school. Yeah,
I
the villains do look kind of scary.
Yeah, like the Skeleton King, who is basically a space lich. Also,
Yeah, I can see
honestly,
him.
anytime you can describe something as insert thing that already exists or fantasy item but in space, you kind of sold me.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, oh, of course Tom Kenny was in it.
Yeah, he was the British blue robot monkey.
Well, you can't have a monkey show without a British monkey.
Yeah.
Well, it looks good, and I will definitely have to check it out.
Alrighty. It doesn't always have like amazing like it takes some of the same kind of Japanesey animation shortcuts that
Hmm.
other Japanese shows take, but I don't know.
It seems to be that animation is very hard, so like
It is
I
hard.
forgive them. You know, it's something that I could never do,
Yeah.
and the patience it takes, even for your like, I've seen like the animations that you've done that you've showed me. I'm like blown away because you've made pictures move. You know,
We
like
made them pictures move.
exactly. I don't understand how you can make them cartoons.
That's really repetitive unless you use tweening.
Oh, thanks for that genuine information. Like you're actually very knowledgeable. This hillbilly character is so super knowledgeable
Yeah.
about the animation industry.
Can that I want that to be a show now, just really knowledgeable, genuinely helpful hillbillies where they just
Genuinely helpful hillbillies is that's a great show
it is.
where it's two hillbillies and each of them know a lot about a lot of different things. But they don't know the same things, so it's
No.
them asking each other about things.
Hey Clam, can you tell me how to get a decent 401k going?
See, I would play Clem, but I don't know how to do that.
That episode would require some research to do.
Yeah, I'm sure the whole show would require some research, unless it's about like comic books, movies, or cartoons.
I could answer some pretty decent ant questions.
Ant, as in the animal.
Yes.
You know a lot about ants.
I know a lot about ants, a fair amount about ants. I know a fair amount about how viruses work in people.
I feel like I would definitely have to be asking you a lot of the questions then.
Yeah.
How do you learn about ants? What made you interested in ants?
Probably the biggest thing, the movie Starship Troopers.
Gotcha.
I don't know, it's like you kind of find out things about ants and I'm like, "Whoa, wait. Ants are kind of like crazy aliens except they're real and on Earth."
And they have like superpowers essentially.
Yeah, it's like who who like breeds and farms and raises creatures? Humans and ants.
It's true.
They like have little aphid farms.
That's so crazy.
And then there's like just ants that turn themselves into big organic like storage jars.
I'm learning so much about so many different things on this podcast.
We keep going off topic from superheroes. I feel a little bad.
We do. Okay, how about this? We're on Ant-Man now.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man's an interesting superhero.
He is. I do like how when his movie came out, it was like
Hmm.
it gave us a little variation because it's like superhero origin, superhero origin, superhero origin, but a heist movie, and I'm like, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah. I'm a big sucker for heist movies, so it was really fun.
Yeah.
And also it sucked because right before Ant-Man came out, I was like, you know what? Because I'm a big DC guy, so I was like, maybe I'll take a foray into like uh, Marvel comics. And I was like, Ant-Man has always been interesting to me. I'm gonna get some Ant-Man comics, and I had not realized that they had announced that there was going to be an Ant-Man movie, and so the Ant-Man comic. I'm dying. Oh my god. Woo. I'm sorry.
You are there?
Yeah, my own saliva tried to murder me.
Oh, I know
Um,
that.
it's the worst thing in the world. I didn't even know. I didn't even eat anything with pepper, and it tastes like I had pepper. But yeah, I was going to go get some Ant-Man comic books, and I was like, oh, these are $10 more than every other comic book. Why is that? And then I found out Ant-Man was announced to be the next Marvel movie.
Ah, worst timing. That sucks.
Yeah, same with Guardians. I was like, wow, I want to know more about Guardians of the Galaxy. And then Guardians of the Galaxy ended up being the biggest like cultural phenomenon of that year, you know.
I wonder what the books are like.
They're not as fun as the movie. I haven't seen the second one yet.
I need to
The
see the
first one,
second one.
or what's up?
I need to see the second one.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe we'll have a screening together.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, just like our entire improv team do a screening of it. I know Nick Howe, once again name dropping a friend,
Yeah.
is obsessed with it.
You would always get us going on Stuck on You. Stuck on a Feeling. That's it.
Yeah. Um,
What should
which
Batman's
is
other not hand be?
let me see. I'm trying to think if there are anything in the comic where he loses a hand and replaces it with something. Well, you can make him half Batman, half cyborg, and give him like a cannon.
Oh yeah, I can give him like Cyborg Sonic Cannon.
Yeah. Cyborg is also a very cool character that I only learned about because of Teen Titans,
Yeah, that's definitely how I was introduced to him.
and he's super cool.
He is.
Um, I
He's
hope they make him cool in the movie,
yeah. Well, they're definitely making him Tony Starky.
which is cool. I mean, Tony, that's not a bad way to go, you know? It obviously worked for Marvel.
Yeah. I just T's a lot more of a tragic character than Tony Stark is though, cause like he like just got effed up and turned into a robot by his dad so he wouldn't die. But he's like, Dad, I don't like being a weird robot. He's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah, like you said, it's a tragic character, which is interesting because in Teen Titans, he's not
Well, I mean,
very tragic.
yeah, but it is kind of tragic because he does talk about how like, yay, when I was organic, I could push myself, but now it's like I have a hard limit to what I can do, and it makes me sad.
Which I would think the opposite with a robot man. Like as a human, I know my limits. You know, like I can't physically do some things like that. You know, but as a robot man, I would imagine that I could just keep upgrading.
Well, there was an episode where he kept upgrading himself, and then he just like lost all his humanity and turned into like an actual robot man.
Yeah, that I believe. I don't know if this was just created for Injustice 2, but that happens, and he turns into a character called Grid, which is like a very scary version of Cyborg. because it's just the robot part, and he kind of looks like a skeleton.
That's robot skeletons, very scary things.
And a very common thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
we got the Terminator for one.
exactly, exactly. And Brainiac has an army of like robot skeletons.
Brainiac's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, he's a crazy character. He was going to be the villain in the what was it? It was Superman, the one that Tim Burton was going to direct with Nicolas Cage as Superman.
Oh, but then it didn't happen.
Oh, you're not familiar with that story?
No, do
Let me
tell.
see. I've got to find the name so that I don't get Superman Lives. That's what it was.
Ah,
It was going to be directed by Tim Burton because Tim Burton had just come off of the run of Batman that is widely seen as the best run of Batman.
that's with the Dance with the Devil in the Pale Moonlight Joker, right?
Yes, yes. Um, but yeah, in 1998, Tim Burton was going to direct Superman Lives with Nicolas Cage as Jesus Superman.
Oh, he's
He
gonna
he had
rise
long
again.
hair. Yeah, he had long hair, and Brainiac was going to be the villain. And then for some reason it didn't happen, and they made a movie about it called The Death of Superman Lives: What Happened, and it came out in 2015.
Oh, I kind of want to check that out.
Yeah,
Even though it's
it
a
was.
kind of clickbaity title.
Oh, it's totally a clickbaity title, but I don't think it was widely released. I think it was just like you can. I think it was like probably crowdfunded.
Ah, gotta get those clicks.
Exactly. Get the clicks. I got no problem. You could use "gone sexual" in the title of this podcast if you like. You have my permission.
Yeah, gone sexual. Nearly, nearly did me in the butt.
Yeah, exactly.
Dropped the soap in the shower. 2016. Funniest thing that ever happened.
Not clickbait.
Not clickbait.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm sure this would blow up.
totally. Um, Now I know in at least the animated show, Brainiac's origin was that he was
Hmm.
basically a supercomputer on planet Krypton. And then when
Hmm.
planet Krypton was like dying, he was like, "So long, suckers," and he like just abandoned everyone on Krypton. But then he's like, "Don't worry, I like backed up all your files, but they're mine." And then he just starts going around backing up all the files in the universe and then
And
destroying
then
them.
interesting.
So what's his? Did you know what his origin is in like the comic books?
Yeah, I don't know his full origin. I can pull it up right now. So we can find out together. But I don't believe he's Kryptonian
Oh,
in from what I know. Um,
I mean, I do know in most comic books he like has a Kryptonian city just in a bottle because
yes, because he's the collector,
yeah.
um, essentially, which is the character from Marvel. And his idea is to collect from every planet and keep it in a bottle, essentially. And then, yeah, kind of supercomputer esque, upload it to his database. Let's see.
I wonder if he
His
pokes air holes in his city bottles.
Yeah, his place of origin is Kolu, which is Colu. Um, and his real name is Vril Dox, Vril, and then Dox, Dox.
Oh man, he's gonna dox you. He's gonna spread your files on the internet.
That's. I wonder if that is where that came from,
I mean,
or
if that's what Brainiac's evil villain power is, he would be even more scary than he already is.
exactly just sending everybody's address everywhere.
I mean, that's how he would bring down like Superman and Batman. It's just like, oh hey, Daily Planet just got an anonymous tip that Batman's Bruce Wayne and Superman is Clark Kent and Wonder Woman is Diana. And they'd
Yeah,
just be like,
Diana, just Diana.
yeah. Do Amazons have last names?
It's of Themyscira,
Oh yeah.
daughter of oh man, why can I not think of Hippolyta?
Yeah. Diana O. Themyscira.
Exactly, she's Irish.
Oh. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna do it.
Were you about to do an Irish accent?
Yes.
It's always rough trying to do an accent when you're doing a podcast or something online where you're like, there's a chance that this person might be listening,
Oh yeah. Like
and I'm about to butcher their entire culture.
right. Like there's one of the few people I can not count on listening to this, but know have a chance of listening to this
Hmm.
has it is Australian. So it's like I better make sure that I put away my deep-seated Australian racism and not say anything mean about the Australians. Oh dang. I just blew my cover. He now knows I have a deep-seated racism towards the Australians.
Dango, boomerang.
No. Look. I've listened to your Let's Plays. You did a couple times. You've made a mocking American accent. We're even now.
I've never heard somebody be racist against Australia.
I don't know. Does doing an accent count?
No, I don't. I think racism. I think racism is, and this is a kind of a heavy topic, but I believe racism is hate of that race. You know, obviously there are racist jokes, but I believe it's a joke. So like, there are very clearly limits too. There like
Right.
there's a joke that you can make that's kind of silly and kind of funny, and so a lot of times the race that the joke is targeting find it just as funny, you know, because they're like, oh, that's something we do,
Yeah.
you know.
Like what Gavin was saying about like, hey, he's this Mexican comedian, and he says we're Mexicans, and this is what we do, and he's like, haha, it's funny because I'm Mexican.
Exactly, it's relatable.
Name dropping Gavin. But yeah.
Yeah, right after this, I'm actually going to record the podcast with Gavin.
Oh really? Neat.
So
No
I've
Trent?
got no Trent today.
All right.
But I've got a couple of hours of speaking.
All right. So well, I've been just drawing this Batman with crappy hands that aren't hands for like
Crap hands.
a long time. We used up a lot of time just sort of farting around talking. How about before we go, one of my favorite topics on Shane's podcast, Big Boy Small Talk,
Thank you for the plug.
was when you and Gavin were talking about ridiculous comic things.
Oh yeah,
Maybe we
there
should-
are
Yeah.
a lot of those.
Maybe we should at least bring up like one or so really ridiculous villain or thing from comic books.
Oh man, the most my favorite ridiculous villain is Kite Man.
Kite Man, that's a Batman villain,
Yes, it is.
and that's all I know about him, other than his general kiteiness.
Well, his alter ego is Charles Brown,
Does
and
is he bald with a yellow shirt with a jiggity black jack across it, and he always loses his kites in carnivorous trees?
it took me a minute to get that, but um, no, I'm not quite sure.
How
But
unfortunate.
But Kite Man's an old school villain too. He appeared like in 1960 or something like that.
He's a Silver Age boy.
Yeah, he's a Silver Age boy, and what it looks like, I'm looking at pictures to see if what his alter ego looks like to make sure it's not actually just Charlie Brown. The comic book cover that he was introduced is Batman on a kite as well as Kite Man on a kite, and they're shooting things at each other.
Was it like a bat kite?
It is a bat kite,
Oh, perfect.
so I don't know if you want to take a stab at drawing that.
Well, I'm just gonna be drawing a cartoony Kite Man. Just
I like it.
super jazzed about the fact that he's on a kite.
Yeah, he's also super jazzed at the fact that he is Kite Man. because in more than a few comic book panels, I see him saying "Kite Man, hell yeah," and that seems to be his catchphrase. Um,
You know what? When you're a super villain themed around what you love, you never work a day in your life.
themed around. I love that. That's the alter ego that he picked. Like, I love kites, and I'm a man. Kite Man. Let's go with that one. It says under abilities on Wikipedia, it says excellent hang glider pilot uses a variety of gimmicked kites, and that's it.
Gimmick kites.
Yes.
Why isn't there more of Kite Man then? Because then DC could like sell all sorts of different action figures. Like, here's nighttime mission Kite Man, and here's a stealth commander Kite Man.
Yeah, let's make a Kite Man solo movie.
Oh yeah. But this is the story of how he starts off as a villain, but then like finds out that he's a better hero than a villain.
Yeah, exactly. What Dwayne Johnson wants to make the Black Adam movie.
Yeah. Or no, that'll be like it'll be Suicide Squad 2, and it'll just have Kite Man will be the newest member, and everyone will be like, "Ah, Kite Man, you can't stop whoever actual threatening DC villain we're having today."
The Condiment King.
Yes, like they take Condiment King more seriously than Kite Man. They take Egghead more seriously than Kite Man.
Exactly.
Like, I could be a good Suicide Squad member. And he proves himself because he, like, brings his, like, sham wow kite to clean up all of Condiment King's mess.
I would like to see like just like a Suicide Squad of garbage Batman villains, where it's like Kite Man, Condiment King, like the Eraser, Egghead, and Professor Pig, all like going and just. I mean, Professor Pig in the comics is actually a terrifying person, but
Is that the guy who's, like, this crazy butcher?
yes,
Alright, yeah.
but he
He's like,
wears a pig mask, so
you know, it's mixed signals. I mean,
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
amused but scared.
And it's also spelled pig with a Y, Pyg.
Oh yeah, Kite Man is having the time of his life on this kite.
I love it. I may actually ask you for a copy of that to make my new wallpaper.
I'll probably want to color it, like line it and color it first.
Well, I mean, it's no rush.
Yeah, he's a very happy kitey boy.
Kitey boy.
That's another thing. I tend to adopt the speaking mannerisms of someone who I'm talking to for any length of time. So like the longer I talk to like Shane, the more I say insert word boy.
Insert descriptor, insert gender.
Yes.
That's kind of my thing.
It doesn't help that Drawfee also does it, and I've been binging them as well. So I'm
Yeah.
like this two-pronged attack of that speech pattern has been accelerating.
Drawfee has the talent of when they're naming something to make the funniest names by just giving an adjective and then a generic name. And it's the funniest thing to me.
Grocery store Georgia.
Yeah, exactly.
That didn't work.
I mean, yeah, I guess Georgia is not a very generic name, but like Crunchy Steve, you know, like.
I think my favorite one of all time may be the rip-off Rick and Morty stuff.
Yeah, did you see the new one?
Oh yeah, with Thick Rick and Diplodomus Rick.
Thick Rick is the funniest.
He's the flanniest.
Thick Rick is so good.
I mean, I don't even think I could talk about that episode because then my YouTube video about drawing stuff and talking is just going to be retreading all the things that their YouTube video about drawing and talking about things mentioned, and that's not good.
Yeah, and we'll be Draw Lee.
Drawly,
Yeah, Draw
draw,
Lee.
draw e.
Draw E. We'll take the F out and we'll avoid copyright.
Yeah, we gotta count the letters and make sure we just change 10% of the lettering. They got nothing on us.
Exactly. Take that, Drawfee, who we actually love quite
Yeah.
a bit, so don't sue us. And
Take that, Codswell and Nathan Yaffe. And by they take that, I mean take my unconditional love.
yeah, exactly. Please love us.
Gonna give him some stumpy legs because he kites too much.
Yeah, he has no muscle buildup because he just kites everywhere.
Yeah, it's like when the Joker's like, "All right, meet over here and we'll finally defeat Batman." He's like, is there any strong winds in that direction?" It's
Is there
kind
a
of
place slightly above that I could jump off of, maybe?
yeah. I mean, if any of you has a plane, you don't need to give me a ride all the way there. Like, just kind of reach
Just get me
cruising
up in the air.
altitude, and I'll take care of the rest.
Oh, Kite Man.
I've always kind of liked Killer Moth.
Killer Moth is cool. Killer Moth is just kind of scary.
I don't know, he's like, it's weird because he's like has a goofy costume of like green and pink, and
Yeah.
looks like a moth. But then he's like, is he like a weapon arms dealer?
Yeah, what Killer Moth was in Teen Titans briefly, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then he was redesigned to be actually cool because he just looked like a scary Mothman.
Yeah, he was terrifying. Oh
He, like,
yeah, I'm seeing his costume. That is silly.
yeah, original costume silly. Teen Titans series from 2000 whatever. That looks like an actual moth, kind of scary. And he had like a cool voice, like "I will destroy the city." I mean, no, not even close. I don't have a digital process on my voice to make me sound like Killer Moth.
So you have an excuse.
Yes. I
Yeah,
like it.
Killer Moth is very silly.
Yes. Like in The Batman, which is
Mhm.
one of the many Batman animated series.
Oh yeah, I see the picture of him right here. He's got like a chub tummy, like a dumpy belly.
Yeah.
This is so sad. I thought like he's like a dude in like a moth helmet and a fur coat.
Yeah.
Like what?
I love it. He's just so. I guess I'll stop crime. I guess I'll cause crime or something.
Yeah, like he doesn't want to be anywhere.
These moths are really itchy. They're eating my costume. You would think I would have picked a moth-resistant costume, but you know, I didn't think this through. I'm Killer Moth. Clearly, I didn't think my evil career through. He was just basically the joke, though I think he got like infected by like a crazy gas or something that like turned him like he may have been like given Bane juice and became super ripped Killer Moth. I don't
That would have been
remember.
nice.
I really liked Bane's design from the Batman.
Let me look it up.
He like had those crazy Ben 10 / Invader Zim jaggedy teeth when he was like in ripped mode.
Oh, and he was red.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
scary.
like when he's in small mode, he's like pretty much all black, but then when he like banes out, like the black parts are like plates that split apart and reveal his scary redness.
Yeah, the venom really got to him. This is weird. That's a crazy design. Very cool.
It is, and just the yellow of his like venomy lines. I don't know, it was just a cool design.
Very cool.
I wasn't super crazy on the Batman. I didn't hate it like some people. I wasn't like super on board, but I'm like, there's some cool stuff, like a really cool looking Bane. That's Bane also broke all of Batman's bones in this version too. So he like built the Bat robot to fight him while his bones were still broken.
That's pretty rad.
But yeah. But yeah, we've been going for an hour, so I think unless you have something else you'd really like to talk about, maybe we should start wrapping up.
I think that's a good idea.
Alright, so thank you for watching Dramblings. If you like this video, I'm not going to ask you to hit the like button because the YouTube algorithm doesn't give a crap about likes anymore. And, I'm not trying to make this a successful YouTube channel, but if you liked it, leave a comment saying why you liked it. If you didn't like it, leave a comment saying why you didn't like it. And,
But at the end, put a smiley face.
yeah, put a smiley face. Soften the blow a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And also,
Give us a compliment sandwich. A
yeah.
good thing, bad thing, good thing.
So the video is 720p. I despise your personality and everything you stand for, and your art is trash. And your two voices aren't too different in volume. There.
Good. I like it.
Yeah. But anyways, but yeah. And if you want, check out Shane's podcast, Big Boy Small Talk, and he also has other things. Do you want to plug any other things you're doing?
Well, if you are in the Fullerton area, you can come and see actually Keith and myself on an improv team called the Funny People Society. We perform at Cal State Fullerton and in the surrounding areas.
Also, somewhat
go ahead.
frequently in the Spectacle, is it?
Stages Theater Spectacles Improv Engine.
Yes.
Also, if you go and check out the Big Boy Small Talk podcast, there is an episode with Keith, and it's a fantastic episode where we talk about things that Keith would talk about.
Yeah, and we're much looser with the language there.
Yeah, exactly. If you are a child, be wary.
There's a little E next to it.
Yeah, exactly. There is an E next to it.
Alright, goodbye.
See ya.